The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
And good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Jumping into it, a busy morning. We kick things off right now, and we are live. We got the S&Ps up by 25 points, folks, just after 9 a.m. Eastern time. You zoom in on the actions, and how about gold? Did it again. We kick it off with a chart of gold up by $54. We hit $4,266 this morning. You check out the daily, and we're not stopping. Now, yesterday, you trade higher on gold, 301,000 contracts. We're up another $54, up 1.3%. We jumped to silver real quick. Everything in the green this morning. Markets and metals. Silver, another all-time high right now, 52.89. And we jump to the S&Ps. So you got Taiwan Semiconductor trading higher. We got a number of equities driving this market right now, and the S&Ps are up by about 1/3% or 24 points in the green, 67.39. NASDAQ 100. We're up by 144, up by 0.6% at 25,070. The Dow in the green by 0.2% right now, up by 78 points, trading at 46,574. And the Russell up by 9 points or 0.4%. Bitcoin not participating in any of this bounce, right? Bitcoin, that's a new recent low that you make at 5:30 in the morning, below 110,000, 109,850. Bitcoin flat on the session right now. Ethereum, a slight pop. We're up by 1.8% or $71 right now in Ethereum. And let's jump to yields. And the dollar and metals, of course. So right now we get the 10-year. A little bit of volatility this morning, even right as I come on the air right now. You get the 10-year yield at about 4.03. Sitting right near 4%. Dollar right now, DXY, 98.60. The dollar under pressure. Remarkably, Tuesday, you were almost at 99.50. We just traded down a full point from where we were Tuesday to where we are Thursday. You got lower yields. You got a weaker dollar. And that's helping gold. Up $56. We kicked off the program, $4,266. Man. All right, and as I mentioned, Taiwan Semiconductor. So you pull over the headline. Profits surging 39% to beat estimates. Another record on AI chip demand. And yeah, the numbers, $33.1 billion, which is just above expectations. You see it in Taiwan dollars, 989 billion new Taiwan dollars versus 977. Income, they beat as well with a number that was 452 billion new Taiwan dollars versus 417 on a percentage basis. That's a big beat, man. And yeah, September revenue, 30% from a year ago. 30% net income increasing 14%. Staggering numbers. Jump over to TSM, and there's the action this morning. You're going to be up about $7. You take a look at the daily on this, participating, of course, with the other AI stocks. Boy, heck of a run. 2 years ago at $86, we're at $304. You were at a low of $133. We take a look at the volume. Now, we had some selling last week. You're going to get some volume this week, though. Look at this. Amazing. You're going to take out last week's action, and you're going to do it with volume, because this is going to be a big volume day for Taiwan Semiconductor. Yeah, that's yesterday's day. We'll see where we go. We did about 20 million shares yesterday. So you see, you come into this week, right? You gap higher from Friday to Monday, and look at this, man. On a weekly basis, you gap above that. You do it with volume. It's a strong move. And boy, you want to see something on TSM. Right? Barely had a pullback, okay? But if that's an A to B, C to D, didn't quite take it out with volume, though. Look at the volume you had at 83 million shares the week of July 14th on their earnings. You climb above that with about 63. TSM, nonetheless, strong numbers driving this market higher yet again. Okay, we talk about rates. You had Mr. Waller on Bloomberg this morning. It'd be about 7:30 this morning, I believe he was on there. Careful cuts is as he puts it. Officials can keep interest rates in quarter percentage point increments to support that faltering labor market, while you have other participants, the newly installed Mr. Moran, continuing to advocate for a larger reduction. Now, this is Mr. Waller. You don't want to make a mistake, so the way to avoid that is to go cautiously, carefully, and to do 25, wait and see what happens, and then you can get a better idea of what to do. In a separate interview on Fox, Moran reiterated his half-point cut call. If monetary policy stays as restrictive as it is, and you have a shock like this hit the economy, it does materially increase the negative consequences of that shock. I think we're probably set up for 3 25 basis point cuts this year. It's all about setting expectations, folks, right? If the market's pricing in 2 cuts and you want more cuts, then you got to go to 3, and that's what the market's pricing in right now, 2 cuts. About a 95% chance that we're getting 50 basis points of cuts by the end of the year right now. Doesn't mean that that won't happen or will happen, but that's part of the reason. You have the 10-year, higher price, lower yield with the 10-year approaching 4% right now, and you get some Fed speak out there from 2 governors this morning. All right, we talked about TSM. Yeah, raising their outlook as well. Let's see, we got a lot we can talk about this morning, man. Yeah, Schwab. 48%. How about that, man? Schwab's reported third quarter earnings beat estimates. $134.4 billion in total net new assets, a 48% increase. The market was looking for about $130.2 billion. Daily average revenue trades grew 30% to 7.4 trillion. Daily average revenue trades, 7.4 trillion. Openings of new brokerage accounts topped 1 million in the 4th quarter in a row. And as they put it, private. Given that many firms are staying private for longer, the Schwab is looking at how to give its clients greater access to such investments. Boy, it's going to be the wild, wild west of private equity going to retail, man. What is a true bid ask of a private equity? The whole point is, you're definitely not going to get the quarterly earnings, right? There's going to be such a discrepancy of data, available info, private equity, valuations, etc. But boy, the launch is on. And so, yeah, they're going to add 16 branches and relocate and expand or relocate 25 existing physical locations. Yeah, big numbers for Schwab. You jump over. And you got the equity up a few dollars. You drive up to 98.80. You were already positive with the market, though. You came into those numbers at about $95, 95 and change. You're trading at 97. But yeah, you talk about expectations. Up from $60 a year ago, up from $50 a year before that. But we're just chopping right now at the 2022 highs of Schwab. Quite a pullback. All right, folks, markets in the green. NVIDIA shares up a few dollars. Trading right now at 182.41. TSM with some big numbers out there. We'll jump around to some equities. Stay tuned, folks. Come right back. If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets in the green. We have gold making all-time highs, and we have Bitcoin right now, actually in the red on the session. We'll call it flat, though, off by 0.1%. Now, you want to talk about some volatility in crypto, folks? How about this headline? PayPal's crypto partner mints a whopping $300 trillion worth of stable coins in a fat finger error, is what I'll call it. They call it a technical error. Call it a mundane detail. Okay, they put the decimal point wrong somewhere, I imagine. But yes, they minted stable coins. Now, stable coins are supposed to be backed by US dollars, right? They immediately identified the error. It was fixed within 20 minutes, okay? There's obviously not enough dollars in global circulation to back $300 trillion, which would theoretically require more than double of the world's estimated total GDP, obviously a large number. It was an internal technical error. There was no security breach, okay? We've addressed the root cause. This is a dollar peg stablecoin. It's fully backed by U.S. deposits. However, this is the part I wanted to bring up. The technical error highlights that the dollar peg is guaranteed by PayPal and its independent third party, rather than intrinsically tied to the minting of a stablecoin. Okay? These stablecoins, folks, you see the risk here. It's a tail risk. But it's not like they have to go to some bank, give them the dollars, and then be rewarded. It's code that's issued. They have a third-party auditor. They're supposed to have the money. But guess what? They were able to issue $300 trillion, and the only reason they backed it off was because it was such a large number that obviously the market addressed the fact that there's no way that could be real, and that they had it. So what's to say if they printed a little bit extra? Would anybody really know? Now, the third-party auditor should know, but when do they get audited? The fact that they could just print it, I think enough said, right? Speaks for itself in terms of the ability to print that, etc. All right. Now, this one is interesting. This one was out yesterday, okay? But as a fan of Sam's, we talk a little bit of Sam's, right? Darth, you out there this morning? We talk a little bit of Sam's. And one of the great technologies of Sam's, folks, is Scan and Go. If you haven't used it yet, please try it out, okay? They should be paying me for the love that I give this company. You scan every item as you're walking through the store, and as you're walking out, you don't even go to a cash register. You just hit checkout on your phone, you pay for it. As you walk out of the store, you get scanned, you're gone. The Internet of Things is going to be everywhere, folks. Okay, and Walmart is deploying millions of new sensors in retail's first large-scale deployment of this new technology. So this technology, okay, the Internet of Things, right? Battery-free sensors, so you're going to have sensors on everything. They're going to be on all of the pallets nationwide, okay? And you're talking about, I think it said 90 million pallets. There it is, 90 million pallets of inventory when at full scale, okay? This is going to be active in 500. Well, this is going to be everywhere, folks, period. Like, they're going to use this to track inventory, and then they're going to use it for things tracking out of the store, into the store, paying for things. This data provides proof of delivery, okay, but it goes beyond that. You can see humidity. You can see temperatures. You're talking about, real data, supply management, and the Internet of Things. Yeah, who does make these? I think they said in here. I'm trying to see. I read this. Let's see. From Williott. Is this it? I think it is. I think that would be the company. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. Internet of Things pixels. Look at this. There it is. That's a good business to be in. No, we'll deny those cookies. Thank you. You know, I'm just pulling it up right now, folks. But yeah, they're going to be able to track everything. Battery-free, Internet of Things, pixels, and you're going to be tracking it all. Stickers delivered in reels. You got a 10-meter range. And they're going to be on every single thing that we purchase, folks. You know, if you've been through Sam's like I talked about, you've used the Scan and Go, it's coming, man. You know, the days of checking out in aisles, we're going to talk to our kids, folks, and they're going to say, you sat in a line to check out at a big machine. Why didn't you just use your phone? It's coming like right now. Why didn't you just use your phone? You sat at a big machine. You had another human being had to help you use a big machine to check out. Imagine that, right? These big checkout aisles, okay? No, you're not even going to have to scan it with your phone, folks. You're going to set up an account. You're going to walk out of the store. It's going to scan everything instantly, and it's going to charge your account. It's going to be seamless. And it's already almost there at Sam's. I have to scan the items myself and put them in the basket. But think about it. If I'm scanning the items myself and putting them in the basket, and they're scanning those items as I walk out the exit, it's getting scanned twice. You know, and that's just making consumers feel probably where the technology is up to date, right? They don't want to be sending people bills for items they don't have in their whatever it is, to trust that transaction, right? That approval before they charge your card. But it's coming, man. Jump over to Walmart shares. Now, Walmart, they make a deal with OpenAI on Tuesday. They accelerate higher yesterday as well. And you're talking about all-time highs, folks. Look at that weekly. My goodness, we got 2 days left to go. And it's going to be a big volume week. We did 63 million shares last week. And look at the volume we've already done. You did 31 million yesterday alone, 2 days ago alone. So what, 30 plus 21, that's 52. We're at 63 million already this week. Wow, we're at 63 million already this week. Look at this. Yeah, we've matched last week's number when you exploded higher. Oh, excuse me. No, that's this week. Yeah, we're at 63 million already this week. Coming into 80 million last week. So we got to do 17 million to take that out with even more volume than the prior week when you were ramping up. It's a big move, man. Jump over to Target. Different story. Different story on Target. Look at all this volume on the way down. Be careful of Target, folks. Target's in trouble. Come out with the earnings in August. Pressure on Target. We jump around to some of the other retailers. TJX. Look at this thing. Rocket ship. Been watching this show, folks. Short term, we're bumping up against the top of that channel line in TJX, and that is a 5-year channel, man. Remarkable strength in that equity. And we check in on Mickey D's. Look at Mickey D's getting a little bit of a bounce from the bottom of its channel. And that channel on Mickey D's, how about 10 years, baby? 10 years. All right, markets in the green, folks. Metals, gold trading to all-time highs. We're coming back for the opening bell.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We get equities open. S&P's right now up about 19 points, trading at 67.32. A little bit of selling for the final 5 minutes coming into the opening bell, but markets in the green, driving S&Ps right now, you make a high of 67.46. NASDAQ 100, all the markets about 1.5% away from all-time highs. Dow right now, 46,575. And you got the Russell, plows to all-time highs yesterday. Russell, very close to those all-time highs. Bitcoin, though, not so much. Bitcoin is $17,000, $16,000 off the highs right now. That's about a 13 to 14% pullback, folks. As we've been talking about, watch out for this area of 110,000. You break through here, okay? And this has been ice for like the whole year, right? You trade up to those highs. You'll trade up to those highs. You break through it decisively in July. You come back and test it, make new highs. You back it up on a longer-term chart. Critical area, to put it lightly. All right, we check in on some of the equities this morning with some action. Taiwan Semiconductor. All right, they give back some of the gains on their numbers. Woo, talk about a story of expectations. TSM up only 0.2% after trading all the way up to 317 pre-market on their numbers. NVIDIA shares up by 1.2%. Jump over to Oracle in the green by 0.6%. CoreWeave up by 1.7% right now. Robinhood in the green by 1.1. Palantir up by 0.9% right now. AMD, call it flat. Intel shares down by 0.2%. Tesla shares right now down by about 0.3%. All right. This one from the Journal last night. AI data centers desperate for electricity. They're building their own plants. Well, some of them are just buying old nuclear power plants, right? And putting them back online. But yes, energy. We're talking about energy yesterday. We're talking about Oklo, one of those equities, particularly volatile. And yeah, what are we talking about now for evaluation? $25.3 billion. And this is Sam Altman's invested company. Yeah. Advanced fission power plants to provide clean, reliable, and affordable energy. You talk about a run, man. So we look at the energy, okay? The share of electricity consumed by data centers. Now, this is 2023, okay? And it's unfortunate because the world has changed a lot. It's about to be 2026. So think about if this was the electricity consumed by data centers in 2023, my goodness, right? Virginia, more than a quarter of their electricity was data centers already in 2023. North Dakota, another big one, some of the Midwest states. Okay, Texas isn't in there, but that's probably because they're such a large state in terms of how much percentage-wise of the state, because check out this next chart. Data centers and high-voltage transmission lines in Texas. They got a lot going on, man. Planning and building large-scale power plants, expanding the grid infrastructure takes years, and there's going to be a year's backlog. Unless you can just build your own power plant or buy a nuclear power plant. I'll share this one in the Tiger's Den, folks. This one's a good one. And it's way too long to break in. I mean, they break down everything. Growth in U.S. energy, okay, peak demand, 1,000 gigawatts is on the top here. Energy produced. We're in an energy revolution right now. AI, energy. It is happening, man. Already, at least $22 billion in new factories and electricity projects have been canceled or scaled back this year. And that's talking about the wind and solar. You heard JP Morgan talking about it on their earnings, okay, putting out that, yeah, it's going to take everything, okay? About 214 gigawatts of large-scale solar, wind, and battery projects are under construction in various stages of planning. About two-thirds of what is currently operating in the U.S. for those technologies. But yeah, however, analysts expect spending on those to drop as they lose key federal tax benefits under the tax and spending law that Trump passed, scaling back the clean energy projects that don't provide around-the-clock power generation needed to meet AI demand. But boy, you better believe the race is on, man. Gigawatts upon gigawatts upon gigawatts. All right. If you're not in the Tiger's Den, folks, get in that Tiger's Den. Check it out. I just shared that one in there. Check out that article if you get the opportunity. All right, Southwest. I was reading this one earlier this morning. Doesn't seem like, we'll see. Boarding airplanes, they're never going to nail that one. Never an enjoyable situation. You check out Southwest, up by about 0.3%. You know, this thing, talk about some doldrums, right? Southwest is trading at $33. You were as high as $23 24 years ago, okay? You look at the volume on this equity, folks. Selling in April, selling in July, this is a monthly, selling in September, okay? We're catching a bid right now in October. We've done 90 million shares. We're coming into 203 million. We're about halfway through the month. Closer, a little bit past the midpoint of that month. Now, in terms of what they're going to do, they're going to change up the boarding. Okay, they're ditching the open seating, which is probably a good thing. But boy, they're going to have 8 different boarding areas. Okay, 8. Yeah, 1 through 8. They're going to try and board you window, middle, aisle, which makes the most sense, right? But the problem is when you're board middle, window, aisle, they have to prioritize the people that are paying for it. So the whole system doesn't work unless the whole system is generalized that way. That's me saying it. Okay, but imagine you let people on that are priority members. You let them on who are part of their mileage program, right? The boarding perks that come with paying more, being in their reward system. But it shuts the whole system down when you have people that are boarding first as part of a premium boarding area, and they're going to be wherever they are on the plane. They're going to be in the aisles. They're going to be in the middle. How do they handle families with kids? You know, it seems like, you know, and they're still going to do the queue to a certain degree. So they're going to have numbers 1 through 8, unless you book priority boarding, okay? If it sounds familiar, it's because nearly every other airline books that way. And it's probably going to be an upgrade, though, off of their self-seating. You know, it's like it was so unlike not having a seat on those planes, folks, that's probably going to be an increase. But still, it's going to be the same as everything else. You're going to have one queue for the people who are boarding, and then you're going to have another queue for the people boarding next. And it's coming to Southwest, so get excited for it. But guess what? There's a line jumping option. Yeah, just pay a little bit extra. Kind of shuts down the whole system when they're trying to board in an efficient manner unless you pay for it. But every person that pays for it, think about it, eats into that efficiency of boarding that plane. Nonetheless, new boarding. S&P's up by 18, markets in the green. We're coming back. We'll take a look at that gold contract.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to direction.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We'll take a look at gold in a moment. We jump to Salesforce first. CRM, a market cap $240 billion. Okay, you have almost 1 million shares outstanding. You're trading at $252 or a $240 billion market capitalization. They come out with a rosy forecast. You're up by 7% today with a pop of $16. And that, as I said, almost... What did I say? A million? No, almost 1 billion shares, right? Yeah, almost 1 billion shares. Excuse me. Almost 1 billion shares. You're at about 15 billion in market cap. You jump over to the headline. A rosy forecast for 2030. My goodness. Okay, now the company expects 60 billion. I say my goodness as in who knows what the world's going to be like 4 years from right now. Think about what's happened in the last 12 months, the last 24 months. My goodness. 60 billion is the number. Analysts were looking for 58.37 in revenue. Organic year-over-year revenue growth rate above 10% this year and through 2030. The growth rate's been under 10% since mid-2024. It's a big valuation still for this equity, folks. You know, and Salesforce has been a great stock, but it's been under pressure versus the rest of this market. All right, look at this chart, man. For Salesforce, you're talking about hitting a price of $312 back in 21. You take a look at the monthly, and you're talking about this equity. It came into COVID at almost 200. We just came into those earnings at 240. Now, they expect $60 billion in revenue in 2030. Well, that's a big number, but they're barely growing at 10%. You look at some of these numbers of AWS, et cetera, 10%. Yeah, it's a big number, folks. In 2025, they had 37.9 billion. They're going to be looking at doing 60 billion. 60 billion in 2030, and the whole company is 4 times revenue in 2030. Imagine that, right? Think about that. 4 times revenue in like 2030. They're doing about $9 to $10 billion in revenue per quarter. The fourth quarter of 2025, They did about $10 billion in revenue. For the fiscal year, you were at about $38 billion, a 9% year-over-year increase in their total revenue. They got to really ramp things up and start taking it to the bottom line. Earnings per share, $6.44. Okay. So yeah, that's a big number when you're growing at almost single digits. So they turn it around, and that's what the market likes today, then yes. But you're going to have to ramp it up more than that, man. I'm not buying a company for $240 billion if you tell me that the revenue, and listen, I'm not telling you not to buy CRM, okay, because the stock prices are not supported by the fundamentals right now, right, of these AI stocks. I mean, there's a great post in the Tigers Den earlier, folks, of the number of billion-dollar companies with no revenue. Yeah, it's a staggering number when you look at where we are and where we're climbing to on that accord. Okay. I think that was Elo, was it? Yeah, Elo. Thanks for pumping that into the Tigers Den earlier. So, but if you're supporting it, and it doesn't have to be all on the fundamentals, it's a growth stock, but boy, you know, if you said to me, you want to buy this company for $240 billion, I mean, it's going to be taking in revenue by 2030 of $60 billion. Say, wait a second. I think there's other plays right now. They're under pressure, and the stock says it, with its equity price at $253, and yeah, right where we were in the middle of 2020 right now. All right, we take a look at the heat map. Tech stocks leading higher yet again, right? Broadcom, NVIDIA up 1.4%, Google up by 1.5%, Amazon more than a percentage point in the green. There's your Salesforce, the biggest leader, up by 8% right now in the S&P. On the flip side of that, retail, Walmart off 1%, Costco off by 0.8%. Marshall and McLennan, look at that one. Let's look at that, down 8%. MMC, advertising. Uh-oh. Is AI taking over everything? It just may be. Look at this pullback, man. Ooh, okay. So they got third quarter earnings, of course. Revenue $6.35 billion with 5.7 a year earlier. Let's see, they missed. You know, it looks like they beat on top and the bottom line, but guess what? That's not going to be the story, right? All right, let's take a look at the volume in this one. Oof, look at that selling on July 28th, right? So weekly, that was a nice buy. Listen, that was a nice acceleration you got over the last few weeks from September 22nd. But boy, you're going to have some volume this week. We're just kicking it off. We're 18 minutes into the trading day, and we've already traded almost 1 million shares. It's great. I mean, in the headlines that you're reading out here, it says Marshall McLennan down after the company posted higher adjusted earnings and revenue. And it seems like they beat. Okay, third quarter revenue, $6.35 billion versus $6.32. Earnings per share, $1.85 versus $1.78. And yeah, there's more in here. There's the outlook, the whatever it is, right? They disappointed. Boy, this thing has been a rocket ship, but just like that. What are we off? Almost 30% from where we were in April as this market rebounds. And look at that monthly volume, right? Selling in April, selling in July, selling in September. Got some negative action today. All right, you take a look at the NASDAQ 100. We're up by 132 points. Apple in the red by 0.7%. Tesla slightly in the red. Costco off by 1%. AstraZeneca off by 1.2%. Nothing too bad. AppLovin off by 0.6%. AMD slightly in the red. Lam Research as well. And the Dow right now up by 24 points. All right, we check back in on gold. Not stopping. How about it, man? Look at this. 62.74. My goodness. We just hit that after the market open. And the volume on gold's been strong, folks. Okay, on a weekly basis, 1.7 was the number last week. This week, we're doing big numbers. I'm going to pull it up already today. 200,000 contracts. Gold, $4,267 an ounce. We're coming right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. And yeah, check out this chart of Comcast. Okay, boy, you talk about it, man. We're in a downtrend channel. This channel starting somewhere, you could say even the end of 2023. That's when the market bottomed, folks. Okay, that's when the market bottomed, October of 2023. For some reference here of how vastly underperforming Comcast is, you have the market right now up 2,600 points from 4,000 to 6,700. Okay, and during that time, you've had Comcast go from a price of about 46 to 29. That's a weekly. Okay, and look at this. A 1-to-1 on this equity brings it down to $15, folks. And that's from where we were in 2021. An A at 62, a B at about 28, your C point up here at about 48, and brings you all the way down to $15. Now, maybe you take a little bit longer in terms of this down channel, downtrend, but check out this volume. All right, that's a monthly. Huge volume last month in September. We put it back on the weekly. Big numbers. And the selling continues. Now, your one saving grace could be that you're entering the bottom portion of this channel line, but Comcast, man, not a good-looking chart, to put it lightly. Breaking new recent lows. And, yeah, how about this one, right? Comcast, almost to where you were. Not almost. Trading at $29.59. Yeah, you were trading at these places in 2014. I've talked about it myself before. I pay for Peacock, and they have a lot more going on than just Peacock, folks. But I pay for Peacock. It's basically free, folks. I think you can sign up Peacock. It's about $60 a year. Do some research, and you can find like a 50% discount for the full year. You get in there for like $30 in the year, and the reason why is they want to sell you ads. And I've talked about it before, that it feels like it's a bit of a scam because Peacock, I watch occasionally some Sunday Night Football, I think, on NBC. Right? And they're just still running ads the next day that people are paying for, and that's their business plan. They got some problems. You know what doesn't have problems right now, folks? Gold. $4,261. Gold up by 1.4%. Markets in the green. Stay tuned, folks. We got our man Basil Chapman. He's coming up next with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Steve Rhodes at 11 o'clock. Fast Market at 12. Larry at 1. I'll be back at 3. Have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for Basil.